This morning, our government introduced a bill to end conversion therapy in Canada. It's past time to put a stop to this unacceptable, discredited practice that has hurt far too many LGBTQ2 Canadians. Conversion therapy is harmful, degrading, and has no place in Canada.
You may think, well, that's Canada. What does Canada have to do with us?
And not a single person in those legislative bodies had the temerity to stand up and say this is wrong.
But I just want to give you a portion of this. These include myths and stereotypes that the sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression of LGBTQ2 people are undesirable conditions that can or should be changed. Myths and stereotypes.
That heterosexuality, that saying that is good, that is normal, that's a myth, and it harms people.
The myth that people born in male bodies are men and people born in female bodies are women, and that no matter what you think about those bodies or do to those bodies, you cannot change what God hath wrought.
Jesus is the creator of all things, and it is his will that all little girls grow up to be women. It is his will that all little boys grow up to be men. Radical, I know.
You know, I told you so just doesn't really feel all that good. But it's obviously the case, is it not? Do we not see it all around us?
These are now considered myths, but not just myths. Dangerous myths.
You can face up to 5 years in prison in the nation of Canada now for seeking to give counsel to someone who comes to you and says, I don't want these desires that I have toward people of my same gender. You do realize that there are more and more articles showing up saying that pedophilia is likewise just an orientation. You do realize, no, it'll never happen. Give it 5 years. Give it 5 years. We could have seen all of these things if we had but listened.
Well, that bill makes criminal offences, and the criminal offences are against more or less anyone who expresses a belief about gender identity or sexual orientation which is Christian in nature. In other words, God's design for people is that we are made in his image, male and female. And that represents God's design for our life and his calling on our life. He called that very good when he made people in that way. And then he says, man and woman, marry and be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. That's again something that's very good. That's the Christian view. Now, if somebody comes up to a pastor in a church and says, well, I want to live that way, would you pray for me? And the pastor, of course, is going to say, absolutely. I will pray for God's will in your life. That pastor, under the Change and Suppression Conversion Practices Bill, could be committing a criminal offence. This is unbelievable. The attack on parental rights, the attack on pastors and churches and Christian faith and Christian belief is unlike anything we've seen in this country.